probably won't have seen me very often. I like to stay behind the screen, but I'm trying to stop that. So yeah, my name's Rachel. I'm the person who you will normally speak to. So I am the owner and founder of Soul Good Stuff. So a little bit about me. Prior to having a little one, I had quite a good job really in a corporate sort of organisation. I had a baby. And at that point during my maternity leave, I thought, the state of the world really saddens me. I've just brought a new life into it. And actually, I need to do something about this. I wasn't getting fulfillment really from what I was doing from living. And to me, it was really important that I did something that, I felt made a positive impact for the next generation. I couldn't just sit back and be complicit to it really. So I started selling a few things online from home. I still work from home now, so we're definitely not Instagram perfect, if you can just see the all the stuff behind me, but I always try to be honest in everything that I do. And it snowballed from there, really. So I started to get more products in, and I absolutely love making a difference. So if anyone's got any questions for me at any point during this, I will pop them in the thing below, and I will answer to the best of my ability, as always. Today will be, for the next 20 minutes or so, will be about how to reduce your plastic impact and also environmental impact. So what's really important to me, and has been really important all the way through, is to not see plastic as the devil. So that's really controversial, I think, for a lot of eco companies. It's like, we've got to be entirely plastic free. The problem isn't plastic necessarily, it's how we use plastic and how we dispose of plastic. So there are many, plastic has changed the world in a way that is positive in some respects, but unfortunately it's led to a throwaway society. Lots of things are packaged unnecessarily in plastic, and then we use them once, we throw them away. So I think for me, when I talk about this, I never ever come from the point of, oh my god, get rid of all your plastic, because it's terrible. You can't possibly have plastic in your house, you're a bad person. That is exactly not where I come from at all. We have plastic in our house, but I'm going to talk through some of the ways that we try to be sustainable about it. So I gave the example yesterday when I was on the chat of somebody came to me. Hi to everyone joining. I was just, if you've got any questions anyway through, just ask them. I want this to be an interactive session. So somebody came to me on a market stall once and said to me, you're not going to like this, but I've got a plastic soap dish. What can I use that's better? My answer most definitely was, you need to carry on using your plastic soap dish. It makes zero sense at all to throw things away. So that leads me on to my first point really. So use what you already have. That would be my absolute top tip above anything else. So there are so many things in our homes that we can reuse, which we can repurpose, which are still good for something else. So I've wrote down a couple of notes because my memory is terrible, and I had a really bad night's sleep last night. So some of the examples that I've got in terms of reusing what we've already have, maybe you've got your own examples, which I'll share with the group if you pop them below. But we use cleaning cloths. Some of our cleaning cloths and some of our bathroom toilet cleaning cloths actually are my little one's old pyjama bottoms. So we have really funky Paw Patrol designs, we have Christmas designs, and I think for me that is a great example. A resale value or giving them away would be useless, they're stained, they're no good. But actually in terms of reusing them, we are able to use them for many more years to come without buying anything new or putting them to landfill. So other things include using jars. So you can use jars for freezing foods. Packaging is a great one. So here you will, lots of you that have ordered from us before may have got something that's in a reused packaging. We don't always use new packaging, we use stock boxes. And as part of our big deliveries, we get great big boxes. I think a lot of companies probably pay people to take these away. But what we tend to do is put all our big boxes onto our local free sale site, and within a couple of minutes they are people of wanting to come and pick them up from using houses. So I think that's a great example of how one person's rubbish is another person's treasure. So yeah, don't throw it away if you've got it. Another example is a plastic hairbrush. So if you've got a plastic hairbrush, you don't need to go out and follow the latest Instagram trends to buy yourself a wooden one. They are of course nice, and if it breaks, then yeah, absolutely I would recommend that you choose something more sustainable, but absolutely no reason to throw it away. So the second tip that I have is to buy things second hand. I absolutely love buying things second hand. There are so many things out there that are a fraction of the cost, which are just as good as something that you'd buy new. And it might not be exactly, as I keep talking about, Instagram perfect, but actually by buying something second hand, you reduce the amount of transportation costs, that the diesel, the carbon emissions it takes to get to the shop. You reduce the factory emissions from where it's made, and also you can get some really good stuff. So if you came into our house, you would probably look around our toy room and go, these are not eco-friendly at all. They've got plastic toys everywhere. The reality is most of our toys we buy from Facebook. We get them gifted to us. So being eco-friendly is not about having all the latest gadgets. Actually, it can be as easy as buying things that's sustainable. So when we finish with them, we will gift them on, we will maybe sell them on if we can, but yeah, the important thing is as I say, to consider clothes is another example. Some of the best clothes that I've got, you can buy from places like Depop, you can buy from eBay. There are so many places, Facebook selling sites, that you can get things from. The impact of sustainable fashion is really huge. That is one of the biggest impacts on our planet, which people don't realise. So the likes of Primark, where you're buying something for £2 and £3 that shrinks in the wash and is then no good and goes to landfill, that is worse to me than buying something that's I can't think of an example. I've completely gone wrong. But yeah, Primark is a place for me to avoid. I don't think it can be ethical. And if you can buy sustainable, do buy sustainable. So, okay. So when my other tip is when you need to replace things, you can choose sustainable. And one of the things I just want to talk about here is this illusion of biodegradable. So lots of companies and lots of things will be labelled as biodegradable. And one of the things that springs to my mind, which is a really big example of greenwashing, is wet wipes. So there was this whole thing about, don't use wet wipes, and it's completely true. All these thousands of wet wipes go to landfill, they don't break down, they're plastic based, they are bad. And then all of a sudden we saw a wave of companies that come out with these biodegradable wipes. So if you have a look into what biodegradable against compostable means, so things that are considered compostable have to be able to return to their natural form within 6 weeks. And things that are biodegradable can take up to sort of 400 years to biodegrade. And at that point, they may not even return to the, physical natural state. So there is a hell of a lot of companies out there willing to greenwash in for you to think. Another one that springs to mind is a popular cleaning company. Now you find them in the supermarket. So they've now coated their product in cardboard and called it biodegradable. The reality is the inside of that cardboard is wrapped in plastic. So you can't split the two materials out. Yes, in a sense, it's biodegradable, but it's completely impossible to break that down and either recycle it or compost it. So when I talk about choosing things that are sustainable, I don't necessarily mean go out and buy something that is just labelled. Have a look into it if you can. Choose from companies that you trust. That is really important as well. Just because a company has got one product that is eco-friendly, actually, if they're distributing hundreds of thousands of products that aren't, could you give your money to somewhere that is trying their best to make a difference? So some of the examples that I've got of that are my favourite ways to be sustainable, and some of the best things that we've done to swap are swapping to so if anyone was here yesterday, you will have heard me talk about ocean savers, and I think it's important to talk about them today as well, because I think we've got lots of new people here from yesterday. So if you haven't, has anyone heard of ocean savers before? I guess you have, because they've been quite plugged, I think, on social media recently. But ocean savers are a really great way of reducing plastic use. There are other types. There are Ryan and Velvet, who do a similar sort of thing. So an ocean saver capsule is a concentrated mixture of cleaning fluid. So the one I've got here is antibacterial, so it's lab tested, kills 99.9% of bacteria. You basically drop this into a bottle that you've already got, mix it with some water, and you've got a cleaning solution. So when you think about it, if you buy a cleaning solution from the supermarket, you are paying for water effectively. You're paying to transport water. It obviously makes the load heavier. Also space in your kitchen. They take up next to no space in your kitchen. And if you think, I don't know, you buy one bottle of cleaning fluid a month, and with these you use that same bottle 10 times, you can imagine that if lots of people moved on to little sachets for cleaning like this, you would save a really significant amount of waste and amount of plastic. They're vegan friendly. They're a really great company who put ethics before their profit, so they're £1.50 for these. And I can't recommend them enough if you don't use, something like that already. Other things that I've just noted down in terms of choosing sustainable options. So I touched on cloths earlier. If you've got, old cloths and things, it might be that you need something new. So one of the things that I like to use are these compostable cloths. So there's many different sorts of them. These are ones by Eco Living. You can pop them in the washer, reuse them many times. They're good for washing the parts, they're good for cleaning, they're good for cleaning your bathroom, your toilet, whatever you want to use, and will last you significantly longer than what a sponge would. So, and once they get to the end of their life, you can bury them in the ground if you want, and they will completely compost down to nothing. So there are lots of true sustainable options out there. It's just about doing your research really and understanding what you're buying. So moving on to my next tip is about food, actually. So you may or may not know that food is one of the biggest contributors to methane gas, which causes the sea levels to rise and all sorts of things like that. So food is something that we often overlook in our plastic-free journey, and we are as guilty of it as anybody else really. We try our best, but sometimes things hide at the back of the fridge that you don't use. You end up throwing it away. It's used energy to make it. It's you're then throwing it away. It goes to landfill. It's really important that you if you can, use what you've got. So we do a lot of batch cooking here, and although it takes time in the first place, actually it's really convenient throughout the week. So we make big batches of chilies, we make big batches of curry, spaghetti bolognese, all sorts of things that you can make in one go and then freeze into smaller portions. So as I was saying earlier about things that, you know, using what you've already have, you don't need anything fancy to freeze and batch cook. If you fill a jar but leave a bit at the top, because when it freezes it will expand and otherwise your glass will crack. So you can use jars from food to reportion things. There are also things you can buy. So we sell like a silicone stasher, which is amazing. They're a bit costly to buy, but they're made out of a material which you can use for years and years and years. I actually think that they might be lifetime guaranteed. But maybe I'm imagining that. So yeah, there are lots of things that you can do or buy if you want to, and you also save money. So you know, we've all been guilty of buying things that we don't use. But batch cooking and planning in advance can save you a lot of money and a lot of time. So and there's refill shops as well, of course. So yeah, there are lots and lots of ways. I do just want to touch on the fact that, you know, I'm going through all of these and you might think, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. I can't possibly do all of these things in one go. And I just want to say to you actually that nobody is perfect. So the example of that which I shared yesterday is in our house we have nut allergies and we also have allergies to other food, and because of that it means that food, in terms of packaged food, we require it for safety. It's not unfortunately safe for us to go and buy refill foods all the time. So this is an area for us that I almost have to accept. But it's something that I like to share with people, because I think, you know, people maybe look at me and go, wow, I bet she's a zero plastic at all, I bet she's, you know, completely perfect. Absolutely not true. We do what we can where we can, but it's about, you know, if it doesn't work for you for whatever reason, if you're making, you know, 9 out of 10 changes or even 1 out of 10 changes, at least you're making a change. Okay. So does anyone have any questions as I'm going through? Is this all okay for people? If you want to drop something in the comments below, but if not, I'll just feel free to carry on. Yeah. Okay, so my next tip is to invest in things which you can reuse or which last longer. So yesterday I talked about how sometimes eco-friendly things can be cost prohibitive, and it's no joke. You know, there are lots of things out there which really quite expensive, and you have to do it bit by bit, otherwise, you know, it takes up you know, it can cost you a lot of money. So, but the flip side to that is there are a lot of things that you can buy which last longer, or which, you know, last a number of years, and which can actually save you money in the long run. So a couple of examples that I've got of that is, if you're someone who likes to shave, not everybody does, I know that, a safety razor is, you know, it might cost you £20 to buy it in the first place, but actually if that £20 razor lasts you for the next 10 years, you will save a considerable amount of money in the long term. So some things you can see as an investment, if you like. So it might be expensive to start with, but, you know, I went into Wilkinson's the other week and I was absolutely gobsmacked that disposable razors are like £8-9 each. I didn't even realise they were that much money. So yeah. The other things that I can think of is some reusable menstrual pads. So again, they're not cheap to buy in the start off. What a pad like this will set you back probably £6 or £7. You can buy cheapies on Amazon. It's not, I wouldn't recommend it if I was honest, purely because they don't tend to last as long. They're not as good quality and they don't work. that's the feedback that I get anyway. So the ones that we sell and many other makers in the UK, they make them with good materials, ones that are built to last. So you can expect a menstrual pad or a cup even, you know, I'm a big fan of the menstrual cup. You can expect a cup to last you at least, you know, 5 to 10 years. And so when you think of that compared to buying disposables, you can very easily make your money back. So when you, if cost is a prohibitor for you, try to think of it in the sense of, well, make gradual changes as you go through and think of what the return on, you know, that product will be. Will it last you longer? Okay, so the next tip that I've got is about switching to bars and balms. So it seems really obvious to those of you that may already be on an eco-friendly journey, but when you think of the amount of bottles you use by things like hand wash, shampoo, shower gel, conditioner, using a bar is a way that you can dramatically reduce your waste, and it's finding the right one for you sometimes. And if anyone needs any help with that, I'm more than happy to help. But also, you know, with bars and balms, I quite often get feedback that, you know, my daughter doesn't think it's trendy to use a bar of soap. I'm really struggling to get her to swap. And as I say, going back to the original thing, it may be that you need to make gradual changes, or that you know, that particular thing isn't right to swap. One of the things that we love in this house, and this is a new one, not the one that we use already, it's really simple. It's a soap pouch. So you can see there I've put a bar of soap inside the soap pouch, and you take it in the bath or shower with you and wet it, and when you rub it against your skin, it will lather up like a sponge or a shower puff. So this can be one of the ways that, you know, you can make your bar of soap seem a bit more like shower gel using plastic puff that you've got. And also for those of you that have got children, a bar of soap, we even know as adults, can be really slippy and difficult to hold. One of these can make it a lot easier for small hands to use when they're in the bath. So yeah, I think they're less than £3 each, and yeah, I definitely would recommend these. The other things that you can do is when you've got little bits of soap left, if you pop them all in a bag, it's just a way to effectively reuse them. So yeah, when they get too small to use, bang them all in there, and you know, that will work for you. So the other thing is deodorant. So when I talk about balms, I don't know how many of you use a natural deodorant already. I get quite a lot of questions about, do you sell a deodorant that works? What's your favourite deodorant? And the reality of the situation is that what works for me might not necessarily work for you. But I can give you, you know, what I think about it, and, you know, maybe you could try it for yourself. So this one and this one are one of mine, so one of my favourites. So it's the Earth Conscious deodorant and the Cutis deodorant are my favourites. So they're both suitable for vegans. They don't contain beeswax, unlike some of them. They smell really good, and the reason why I like these are they are the most effective against, you know, sweat and odour. And also you'll see there that they've got a push-up thing. Some of the other ones that I've tried have been quite crumbly and quite difficult to apply. These are great, and you can use them all the way to the bottom. So the way that they work is they're a solid balm. They've got arrowroot and bicarb soda in. So I think I've got this the right way round. The bicarb soda helps to keep you dry and reduces the amount that you sweat. And the arrowroot works on odours and neutralising odours. So it helps against the bacteria that forms, and it's the bacteria that causes the odour in your sweat. So, and they are also scented with essential oils, and both of these have lasting scents. So you can smell them all the way through the day, and they smell really good. So yeah, they're set into a hard balm, and if you can imagine when you hold them against hot skin, they will melt slightly. So you don't need to vigorously apply them, just hold them in your armpit and they will melt a little bit, and that enables you to apply them. So we get lots of really good feedback about these. So yeah, if you were looking for a natural deodorant, those are some of the ones that I would recommend, but there are of course lots out there, so you need to try for yourself. So the next thing on my the next couple of tips that I've got is to have a think about what you use in your house the most and tackle that first. So for us, it was laundry products. We were using the giant plastic tubs with the capsules that say on the back, harmful to aquatic life, which is just awful. Fancy putting something that's harmful to aquatic life down the drain. But yeah, that was us. That was me. So laundry was something that I wanted to sort out straight away. We've used many different things over the course of the last 2 years. We've used eco eggs, we've tried different things. One of the things that I'm quite settled on now are these True Earth laundry detergent strips. So you can see there is how many loads? 32 loads in that tiny little envelope there. And what they've cleverly done is they've put a concentrated solution of laundry detergent into these little strips. So you use one strip for each load. You can tear them in half if you're only doing half loads, or if things are really dirty, you can use 2 strips. Unlike lots of natural and eco-friendly laundry detergents that we've used in the past, they smell strong, and when your clothes come out they still smell strong. So if scent was something that you're looking for in natural laundry detergents, would definitely recommend these. If anyone's got any questions to ask about laundry at a later time, you can feel free to message me. As I say, we have used quite a lot of stuff. The other thing is wax wraps. So you can see, here's one that I've got here. We use our wax wraps for everything. We use them for sandwiches for my little boy to take to his nanny's. We use them for covering food in the fridge. We use them, you can freeze things in them. You can use them for bread. If we sell vegan ones, and we also sell vegan wax bars, so you can make your own. So if you wanted a huge, great big wax wrap out of your own fabric, you can cut it to the size or shape that you want. You can melt your wax down, and you can make your own wax wrap bars. So if we've got people on here that aren't vegan, we also do beeswax ones, but the vegan ones are made out of plant-based waxes and oils. So yeah, they last for anything up to a year really. Wash them in cold water to elongate the life of them. And yeah, really useful for lots of different things. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to touch on before I leave you to it today, I feel like I've talked at you a very lot, but I guess that is a side effect of sitting on your own in a room and speaking to the camera, is if you've got the time, try to make your own things. I'm somebody who doesn't really have a lot of time, but at the same time really loves to make my own if I can. So I intend to start doing more live demos on here actually, now I've conquered my fear of the camera, and sharing them on our Instagram pages. So if you scroll down our Instagram feed, you'll see that I make my own dry shampoo. It literally takes minutes and is a fraction of the cost of buying dry shampoo. You can colour it to the colour of your hair, so you can use cocoa powder if you've got darker hair. It's exactly the same as what you buy in the shop, but it takes you moments to make, and I use a shaving brush to apply it. So if you've not got a shaving brush, a large blusher brush, something like that will work. We also have shared a video of making your own dishwash liquid using some Castile soap and water and essential oils. There are so many things out there that you can make, which, say, yesterday I shared a video on how to make toilet cleaner. So many things out there. I mean, white vinegar, we touched on it yesterday. You can use white vinegar to make your own fabric conditioner. So over the course of the coming weeks, I want to start sharing actually some more videos and inspiration on how you can make things yourself. It's quite fulfilling to think that you've made that, and also, you know, at the same time you can greatly reduce the cost and the things that you buy in. So yeah, that was I think we've run out of time at 1 o'clock anyway. Not that I guess there is a time, but I think I had half an hour slot on the Vegan Markets UK. But on our website we have, actually I'll just tell you a little bit about the carbon offsetting scheme that we've got on the website. That is something that's really important and I'm conscious of. So we're mainly an online website, online business. Thank you, lockdown. Normally I would be at markets talking to people today, but yeah, so we've set up a new carbon offsetting scheme, and what that means is our website, each time somebody buys something from us, we will the website calculates the amount of miles from our door to your door and works out what the likely carbon emissions from that journey would have been. It then gets tallied up at the end of the month, and what's presented to me is an approximate amount of carbon emissions that we've produced as a business from our deliveries. What I then do is take part in an offset scheme which regenerates and protects areas of the Amazon rainforest, and the way that you start to see a carbon positive effect of that, so if we're planting trees because of the money that I pay, if we're protecting rainforests, actually the net positive effect on the oxygen produced and the reduction of carbon will balance itself out. So I'm really proud that we do that. We also have opportunities to plant trees, and if you get the chance, not necessarily with me if you don't want to, but take part in these planting of tree schemes and take part in the offsetting schemes if you can afford to, because it really does make all the difference in the long run. This weekend we've only been running the plant a tree scheme for a couple of weeks, and I've not really done much promotion of it, if you like, and I think this weekend I think we've planted something like 27, or you guys have planted something like 27 trees, which is really, really cool if you think about it. And you know, there are ways that we can be activists without spending lots of money, and there are ways that we can really make a difference without spending lots of money. So I hope that you've enjoyed our little session today. I hope I haven't bored you too much. I can see a few of you are still here to the end, so thank you very much. On our website there's a little chat button in the corner, and that sends a text message or a messenger message to me personally, and I love chatting with people, and if you've got any questions, there are no such thing as a silly question. I will always give you an honest answer, even if you can't buy it from us, or if I don't stock it, or I don't think it's a good product for you. I will always tell you. So yeah, I'm Rachel. Thank you very, very much for being with me today, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, guys. Bye bye.